really me because I don't usually talk about this topic. I have before on my channel. This is, if you haven't been here before, my name is CianaSingh, and we talk about everything health, fitness, and mindfulness. That's why my page is called MULTIVITAMIN, because we're always pursuing that next level, trying to embody that next level. So, okay, social media is just obviously extra lit these days because it's an election year, right? I am not here to talk about politics at all. Like, it is not my desire to. Just to be really honest, I only like to have true, deep, person to person, like in person or over the phone conversations about politics, so that way we can actually come to some kind of conclusion or some kind of just something that's actually going to enhance the both of us, me and the other person having the conversation. I don't care to get in an argument. I don't care about none of that. But what I am doing is making sure that I am being an independent thinker, doing my own research, gathering my own information, comparing it with some other people that I trust, and, making educated decisions, right? So that's what I'm doing. But as far as like actually going in and talking about what candidate, I'm not doing that. But this is what I wanted to tell you. If you are someone like me, where I was super intimidated. Okay, let me rewind. Every election year, there's people on the planet that actually run up a bag. And when I mean run up a bag, that means make money. Okay? And if you're somebody that's like, why am I always missing out? Or what do you mean, Ciana? What are you talking about? Run up a bag? Like, how do you run up a bag during an election year? Whenever there's an election year, the stock market is super volatile. Okay? Of course, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I am just telling you what I plan on doing this election year, regardless of who wins. Now, I'm not going to talk about who I'm going to vote for, but regardless if the person I vote for loses or not, I'm making sure that my environment is secure. Okay? So this is coming from someone that used to be super intimidated by the stock market, super intimidated by stocks, had no idea about financial education or, just financial literacy at all. Like, just the basic, I get my paycheck, I pay my bills. Like, I was super intimidated. I always thought that the stock market was just for, honestly, what I saw in the movies, which was typically older white, like 50 and up white men. Okay? That's just my honest, experience with it. I didn't have a family member or a mentor or anyone that sat me down and said, okay, this is what you do. I didn't even know what a 401k was. Like, I had a 401k when I was working at my old company, and I didn't know. I was like, what do you mean I have a 401k? Oh, okay, sure. Oh, it comes with you having this job. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, it's, for your retirement. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just left it at, I just expected it to do whatever it was going to do. Okay. So during the 2021 shutdown, we all know what I'm talking about. I was like, I'm going to take this downtime to really understand the stock market. Like, that was my personal goal, because I'm like, I can't just keep going throughout life with not understanding this and always being intimidated, right? So I want to let you know that since then, so 2020, it's now been 4 years. It's been 4 years since I've had experience in the stock market, meaning me buying and trading my own stocks, me buying and trading my own ETFs, me doing calls and puts by myself, right? Not having a financial advisor or someone that does it for me, like a stockbroker or any of that. I took it upon myself to study this stuff. I am like an infant. Maybe I'll give myself a little bit more credit, like a 2-year-old, 1-year-old, 2-year-old in the stock market game. I'm super green behind the ears still, but I can say I know how to buy and sell a stock. I know how to invest in good quality companies that are like blue chip companies that have been around for a long time. They're going anywhere. 100 years. Obviously investing in things like tech, AI, right? So I wanted to let you know, is just, the people that tap in with me, follow me, you guys listen to me talk about God, single season, fitness, how to lose fat, nutrition, all that stuff. This is really the mindfulness part. Like during this year, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And I hope you do this with me. And I would love to hear what you guys are doing in the financial department. If you guys have some stockbrokers that you guys want to put me on as well, or stockbroker, like stock platforms to trade on, like if there's any good deals or anything like that, I would love to know. Let me know down in the comments. But okay, so let me just tell you my experience with it and how I came into it. So one of my cousins was in the financial industry. And I was like, look, I am so intimidated. I just don't understand where to start. Like, I just don't get it. Like, how do you buy into a company? Do you walk into the company and say, hi, I would like to invest your, like, I was so far gone, like in another planet when it comes to this, which is super embarrassing, but I don't know. It just wasn't taught in junior high school. I didn't take a financial class in college. No, let me take that back. I did take finance, but it was more like how to like manage your books, like for business. It wasn't how to make investments to like build wealth, right? So I told him, he goes, okay, we're going to sit down and I'm going to just literally teach you how to read the chart. Like I'm going to teach you how to read the chart, download Charles Schwab. I was like, what's a Charles Schwab? But he was like, download Charles Schwab and, we'll go from there. And I was like, okay, can you like send me the link? Like, I'm so super confused. So I downloaded Charles Schwab, which is a platform that you can invest on. And I also downloaded Robinhood. Okay. A lot of people make fun of people that use Robinhood. I don't care at all. I swear by it. I've been using it for 4 years now. And if you really have been on my channel for a while, I've talked about me using Robinhood before, like 2 years ago. So that's for the people that like, when I think I only had like 30 subscribers, but long story short, I've like had like, I have a couple years under my belt now with using these platforms. And okay, he sat me down, we went through the chart. He was like, okay, so look at the weekly, look at the monthly, look at the daily, look at the yearly, just talking about how much they made, why it could be a good company to look into. Do they have dividends? Do they not? If you buy a stock, do you want it to reinvest? Like all this stuff. So he was like, we're going to buy, your first one together. So the first stock I bought on my own was Delta. And it was such a good stock to buy during the 2020 shutdown, because all airlines were like, the airline industry like completely took a hit because people couldn't fly at the beginning, and then once you could, it was like they were only selling a certain amount of tickets. Like it took a major nosedive. So I was able to invest in Delta for like super ridiculously cheap. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And he was very clear. He's like, this is not going to always be the case. Once 2020, once, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to always be like this. Like the stock market's going to go back up, and things are not going to be this cheap or on sale or whatever. So I was like, what do you mean it's cheap, on sale? Like, I just still don't get it. Like I just bought it, cool, but like, so it's going to go up and down, like, whatever. So 2020 was a really rare, like the way that the market was moving was very not normal, obviously. So he was like, okay, don't get too excited with like thinking that stocks are always going to, because what happened is when I bought Delta in 2022, when things started to go back up, I like had a huge gain. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. But of course that was a unique circumstance. A lot of airlines are back, like leveled out to where they normally were. But I think I invested in American Airline, Delta. I invested in some, the cruise ship companies, like things that were like stagnant, that obviously it took a big hit. Everything was super cheap and I got in on it. And once the world opened back up again, the stocks went back up, and then I, made money on it. So also what was going on was the 2020 election. Okay. So I got to experience what's going on, in 2020 with how the market was due to the reason why it was shut down. I don't know if I'm going to get flagged, you know, so I'm just not going to say the C word, but, you know, C19. And it was an election year. So what I learned from that is not only I need to be learning the stocks, like I'm super behind on this. Number one. Number two, election years are super like great opportunities if you do your research, if you take the time to study, to actually make a lot of money and like move some things around or whatever. You don't have to be in the stock market and be super active. You could just invest in like some really solid companies that are not going anywhere, that are dividend companies and companies that are growth stocks as well. So if it's a growth stock and it has a dividend, that's like money, that's gold. So that's why I'm like, okay, because I feel like a little bit more comfortable talking about the stock market, because I've had 4 years of experience in it now. Again, made a ton of mistakes, you know, learned a lot along the way. And you never stop learning, by the way. Like, you want to get in and you react emotionally a lot. If you see the stock market going down, you see that you lost money. You didn't really lose money. The company could be retracing, it could be leveling out, there could be all these like different terms I'm still learning, but there's different reasons why a company, like a really solid company, like let's just say Coca-Cola, why Coca-Cola would go down, but it's a company that's been around for super long and it's not going anywhere, right? So there's different like seasonal reasons, there's different, you know, there's earnings, right? So depending on how earnings did, every quarter there's a earnings, they do a live earnings announcement of like what the company made. And, you know, it's kind of cool because you get to experience all that. You get to see how all of that works. And bottom line is I was able to become debt free because I was investing in the stock market during the 2020 world shutdown. I took that time to learn, made money, took that money, paid off. Like I had that's a whole nother video, but I wasn't in a ton of debt. It was like, it's like normal debt. Like I had like a travel credit card, whatever. I used to pay for a lot of things for my grandma when I was a caregiver. So, you know, did some credit card stuff with that, whatever. So I became debt free. And by the grace of God, I also had an academic scholarship. So I do not have student loan debt, which is a super blessing because I just maintain my grades and I maintain that scholarship. So, but if it wasn't for this, me learning the stock market, I would not be debt free right now. Like I wouldn't. I would, you know, be paying my minimum payment and just trying to be on time and just like do what everyone else says. And you just have like, you know, then you're accruing interest and stuff like that. And I just was like, I want to figure it out. Like I want to do what other people are doing and they're figuring it out. So that's the message that I want to send to you. If you are someone that has been super uncomfortable about the stock market, you have no idea about it, download Robinhood. You don't have Charles Schwab, because I had someone like my cousin training me on how to like do it. I was still really intimidated. So when I downloaded Robinhood, I felt like it was just more like, this is gonna like sound like I'm like putting myself down, but it just sounded like it was like investing for dummies, you know, like those books that like whatever for dummies. That's what it felt like, investing for dummies. Like it was just like, okay, here's a stock, here's how to buy. You can buy 1, 2, 3, or however many you want. Here's how much it'll be. Here's what the analysts say. Like it was just very like easy for me to understand. So that way when I was learning it through Robinhood, when I would go back to the Charles Schwab platform, you know, it looks really different, but I was like, okay, I get it now, right? And so now I'm super happy I have both. And then I actually have 2 other ones that I use. I use M1 Finance and I also use Moomoo. So there's, if anyone is interested, okay, I got a couple of, you know, friends and family to sign up and they're like, honestly, I'm not into it. Like, I don't want to like, I'd rather have someone else do my stock portfolio for me, or I'd rather just have a 401k and like not worry about it because it's just too much. To me, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't at least want to sign up and just get the free stocks when you sign up. So with Robinhood, I think we got 2 free stocks at the time in 2020 when I was getting a bunch of people to sign up, and they still have those stocks. Like even though they don't really do much, they got your technically your wealth goes right up, because just for signing up, Robinhood gives free stocks, and so does Moo. So I'm actually going to put a couple links down below. If you want to sign up, you literally don't have to do anything with it, but I'm telling you, especially with Robinhood, when you get Robinhood, you're going to be like, wow, I own Apple stock, or because I think it does it by random what you get to have. So what is it? SoFi is a good investment. Oh yeah. What company is that again? So yeah, so definitely, like, it gives it to you at random. So I think a lot of people were getting Apple, a lot of people were getting Amazon. Like, they're really reliable companies, and then you just can let them sit, you know what I mean, and just like build wealth over in 20 years. You know, you could have like a couple $1,000s in there if you don't want to do nothing. But I'm telling you, once you see that you have those stocks, you're gonna be like, you know what, like, let me just try to buy something. And Robinhood's super cool because you can sell, you can buy fractionals. So if something, like, for example, like the S&P 500, I believe the ticker symbol for that one is SPY. So SPY, it's like over $500. You might be like, not really, you know, interested in investing that's just for one share is $500. But if you're like, well, I have $15, right? I have $15. You could put $15 on SPY, on you know, these Fortune 500 companies. You know, a really good ETF. I don't have the tickers memorized, but ETFs, you just want to put it on a couple solid ETFs that have dividends, and just put $20 here. Maybe next week you put $30. Maybe next week you put $5. Maybe next week you put, so you're putting, it's almost like the little change that you would maybe just kind of blow because you had it, or you're like, oh, I'm in the liquor store, or I'm in 7-Eleven, I'm gonna get like some snacks. Cut out the snacks maybe for a week and just get some fractionals on Robinhood. You would be shocked. Like when I first started, I'm kind of shook with how, and I'll read your comments as soon as I park. I'm shook with how fast the 4 years went. Like, you would think like, oh man, like, I'm not going to make any money. I need fast money right now, or I'd rather just use my money. I don't want to invest my $100 or $200. I'd rather go to happy hour and just enjoy my life and live in the moment. I understand that. I do. But you'd be shook, like, how much things go up over time and they compound on each other. So I look up and I'm like, what the heck? I made, like, for literally sleeping, like, just for taking the time to learn, the time to press a couple buttons to actually own the stock, you know, own shares. Just because I took the time to do that one time, a year and a half later, 2 years later, it's like, it's up several $1,000s. You know what I'm saying? And I did nothing. I did Delta and Amazon and Coca-Cola, and those companies have to do the work. All I did was just become an investor. So it's like, you can let it sit and continue to ride the wave. You can sell out. You can put that as a down payment for a car. Like, there's so many things that it opens you up to. You can pay off your debt. You can go on vacation. Obviously, the more aggressively you invest, the more money you can, you know, make a return on. Of course, do your research. Let me see. Off the top of my head, so people that I follow off the top of my head, there's a guy, his name is Josh. Always calls himself, like, I'm just a normal Egyptian. His page is called Trading Fraternity. I really like the way that he's broken down stocks. He's always live every single day when market opens from 6:30. I live in California, so from 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And he's on there live. And if you just listen to him for a month, it's literally like you basically went to like a free training. He's live for the entire 8 hours and just calling out plays and talking about how important it is for a long term and doing calls and puts and all that. So his page is Trading Fraternity. And also there's so many pages called this, so you're gonna want to probably like look at his description and go to his other page. But he has the Trading Fraternity, and then his live streaming, which is him being on live during the stock market. It's called The Stock Market Live. But there's so many versions of that, so you could end up, I mean, really any of them are probably decent. You know, there's so much stock information on YouTube, but that's one I've been following for a really long time and he's been super consistent, and I just like, he's funny, and you know, it's not intimidating for me to listen to him. But if you just literally Google or go on YouTube and type in how to buy a stock, and then read comments, make sure, you know, if the views are really high and there's a lot of likes, it's probably because it was a really good video. It's easier than ever. Like, I actually had a human being teach me, but then once he taught me once, I like went and like looked at other videos, a ton of other videos. I'm actually going to do another video because I actually follow a lot more people than just him, but he's the one I've been following the longest. So that's his, I just have his page memorized, but there's like a solid 5 other YouTube pages that I've been following that have helped me on my investing. 2 accounts where they're like my long-term investment, right? Just long-term investment like practices, and just like really boring trades. Like, I just put some money on it, it does its thing, it doesn't go up a lot, it doesn't really go down. They're just projected to have a growth every single year. Then I have Moo, where I'm going to do more like kind of riskier plays, right? Like taking risks, like Tesla goes up and down, you know, companies that are trending in the market, like stuff like that. That account is just going to be just for that. So I'm prepared to like lose a little bit of money just to like, you know, because bigger risk, you know, some of the stocks and companies are riskier, you know? So I just wanted to like let you know that as a big sister, as an auntie, as a cousin, as your YouTube pal, take advantage of this year being an election year to make some money in the stock market. Okay, download Robinhood. Even if you don't get it from me, I don't even care. It's, to me, I'm like, I am mad that because I guess there's a couple, once I started learning how to invest and I was talking about it, other older people in my family are like, oh yeah, I have, you know, investing account. I'm like, hello, why aren't you teaching the younger generation in the family? Like, whatever, it is what it is. But if I would have started this at 18, I think you could actually have an investing account at 14. I could be wrong on that, but like, you could start investing really, really young nowadays. And there's teenagers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the market. There's no reason why in your 30s, 40s, 50s for you to not be intimidated. Like, there's no reason to be intimidated. Robinhood is literally makes it like, literally kids are like actual junior hires are trading on there and making thousands of dollars. So you gotta hop on it. And I get it, if you have a 401k already, is being taken care of, but I'm telling you, sign up with one of these platforms if you haven't. Moo and Robinhood. I'm going to put it down in my description. You get some free stocks. And even if you don't want to do anything with it, you looked at the platform, you're like, this is just too much, I don't have time for it, I'd rather watch Netflix and like not learn, you at least have those free stocks, and they're just going to, you just let them sit there and they'll continue to go up, and you could sell out, and that's just some free extra money. I believe if you in Moo, if you deposit, so upon signing up, if you deposit $100, you get 5 free stocks. But then if you deposit $1,000, you get 15, anywhere from 12 to 15 free stocks. So like, even if you just did that, where you just transfer the 100, get the free stocks, after 3 months, you know, sell out the stocks to close the account. You know what I mean? You could do that too if you just want to come up on like a couple extra $100. But I'm telling you, you're going to want to keep it. You're going to want to learn about it. I'm super excited that I took that time during the pandemic, because I just feel like it opened up my mind to so much. Now I'm like, just the way that I view finances is just so different. And it's just so cool to me that I can put money onto a stock and money appears from out of thin air, essentially. Like, I didn't do anything but sleep. Like, I didn't do anything but take one time to learn, and I'm debt free now. I'm debt free. It just feels, it feels so good to know that I got debt free. Because yes, I was putting my own money that I've worked for, but I compounded that money that I worked for so I could pay it off quicker. In 2024, with AI, with all these, like, all this information, with all this free information, I'm telling you, you almost like can't afford to like miss out. SoFi is good. It's an AI company that's growing. Okay, I'm gonna definitely look into that. Lucid Motors is a good one. Okay, awesome. So I have I wish I could. Oh, I'm at a red light right now. Come on. Let me tell you guys what's in a couple of ETFs that are in mine. So I have, that I've been making some, I noticed have been doing really well, some ETFs. I'm still at the red light. Okay, so right now, okay, NVIDIA is a really, really good one to get into. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just one that I decided to take a chance on. It's a risk. I'm telling you this for fun. Disclaimer. But NVIDIA is really good, and they just bought Serve, which is Serve Robotics. You know those robots that are like literally serving? It's the ticker is SERV. It was $8, and like I got in on it, and like it went up to $13. So like and it's projected to go up even more. But NVIDIA just bought like a crazy amount of shares, so it's like got everybody like wondering what they know that everybody else doesn't know. I also have so some ETFs if you just want to do boring good investing where you're just like, I don't want to do too much. I just want it to go up about 8 to 10% every year. And the good thing about ETFs is that most of them just have like all the companies that are really solid companies that are projected to continue to do well over the next 10, 20, 30 years. So I have JEPQ. That's JP Morgan's ETF. I also have SPY, which I talked to you guys about before. That one's the S&P 500. That's been doing, you know, that one's been going down, but again, that's what the stock market does. It goes up and down, up and down. Another one that I've been able to get a gain on is, hold on, I'm in like this Hollywood traffic. I'll just glance down really quick one more time and tell you. Oh, this one's been doing really well for me. Is VYM has been doing really, really good. VYM has been doing really, really good. So I have more, but maybe on another video when I'm not driving. But yes, it's like, bottom line, just start with one moment, 1 hour, scratch the Netflix, download Robinhood or Moomoo. I would start with probably Robinhood first, but you just get more free stocks with Moomoo right now. You could do both, but then maybe download both and then, you know, deposit money in both, but then learn on Robinhood. And I know everyone was a little iffy about Robinhood, but now it's like proven that it's like, it's not going anywhere either. Download Robinhood, learn how to buy your first stock, and then just start 1 hour a week, buy your second stock, you know, and then each month, you know, maybe go from buying one new stock a month to like buying a new ETF or a stock, putting in, you know, just research like a couple solid ETFs that like you can do the ones that I look into, the ones that I just suggested. There's some other solid companies. Also look up Magnificent Seven. Look up Magnificent Seven. And that one is consisted of like Google, or it's not an ETF, but it's basically as deemed as like, it's not going anywhere. It's like tech, AI, it's the way of the future. So Amazon, Google, it's Alphabet. It's called Alphabet. I think it's like Alphabet and Google is under Alphabet. Don't quote me on that. Just type in Google ticker symbol and then you'll see what I mean. But Google, Amazon, Meta Platforms, and just type in Magnificent Seven and the whole list of 7 will go up. You could even just invest in those and you'll be good. And those Magnificent Seven companies are also in the ETF. So if you want to like, you know, it maybe invest in a couple, but then just invest in a good ETF that has those companies in it. Call it a day. I thought I was just going to be the kind of investors like, okay, I bought a couple stocks, I'm just going to do it. But once you kind of like see that you're understanding it and things are clicking, it makes you want to continue to know more and do more and learn more. Yeah. So I'm debt free, you guys, because I took the time to learn how to buy and sell my own stocks. Like, we live in the easiest time to do it. So, to learn it. So, if you guys want to know more about my stock portfolio journey and just what I'm doing, again, I'm an infant, maybe 1 year old, 2 years old in the stock market life. I am like the last person to be listening to for stock market advice, but I think I am a good candidate to listen to, someone that's just like you, that was struggling, confused, super intimidated, overwhelmed, and just felt embarrassed. Like, I just was so embarrassed about not knowing about finances that I just didn't want anything to do with it. It was just scary. And then finally I was just like, this is silly. There's 14-year-olds that are making thousands of dollars. Like, this is ridiculous. I need to learn this. And now I'm debt free because I made that decision. So I'm going to put the link in the description. If you want it, you get free stocks from Robinhood and from Moomoo. Definitely click down below. Make sure to subscribe. Send this to anyone else that can benefit from this information, or just needs to hear someone else in the same boat as them that was super scared and lost and confused. And, you know, now I'm debt free, right? So yeah, definitely make sure to subscribe and catch me on the next one. Bye.